start? You want to start?
Yeah, we can start. It's my start. You guys ready?
It's your start.
In 5, 4, 3. One. We are tWoTcast, episode 285.
All right, everyone, shut the f*** up.
Wheel of Time, reread podcast, explicit and R freaking rated. Jono's the wild card, always talking shit. Joe's the straight man, he's a total dick. Tom calls in if he's not too busy. We are tWoTcast!
You're listening to tWoTcast. You're listening to tWoTcast, the Wheel of Time reread.
You're listening to Quackcast.
No covering.
Podcast about ducks.
Covering Robert Jordan's The While of Team. Book 3, The Dragon Reborn. With me, as always, is Jono.
You knew.
Oh, hey, Jono. Hey, man.
Hey.
Joe's off to a good start. Got a little beer inside of me. Got a little whiskey inside of me. I'm good. And I'm like Joe. And Tom is frequently, but not always, here too.
Shut your mouth.
I really got to adjust my intro for that.
Study that.
Seemed like you aimed to fuck up the intro, and then you fucked it up too much to even come back from normal.
I fucked up naturally like 2 or 3 times, and I was like, let's just go with this. It sounds good. It sounds real good.
Quack.
Okay, Tom, quack, quack.
Quack.
I think I said literally,
That's all we do for now.
No covering Robert Jordan's. I'm like, well,
no covering.
I'm just going to roll with that. That's what I'm saying.
There is no covering Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time on Quackcast.
You're listening to Quack.
You want to hear something funny?
You're listening to something. I don't know what it is.
I got a great joke for you guys.
Special guest Groucho Marx.
People pay money to listen to this. Yeah, they're called Patreon.
Oh, they do? Oh, patrons do pay money.
Should have said a quack.
No, patrons pay money for extra content. It's not just insanity.
That's not how ducks laugh.
Quack.
By the way, on that note, do you guys want to start recording live for our patrons?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I thought we were going to start doing, after the Rumble, we were going to do streaming live the shows anyway.
I mean, we can, but then it's out there, like, for real.
Yeah.
With no edits.
I know that's actually my biggest
considering
the biggest thing that makes me want to do it is like, oh, they'll have to stick to a schedule, like a time schedule for the episode because it's live.
Nope. See, that's why recording for live for our patrons would be different than that, Jono, because we can just like walk out of the room and go get beer and pee just like we normally do. But they pay to listen to that.
I mean, I still would.
Yeah, that's true. Tom takes advantage of me and Jono's nonstop stream of crap coming out of our mouths.
I've never been on a live show my entire life where I didn't just walk away.
You know, I do that like Watchnary show with the Leafcast guys.
Yeah.
And it's so nice because it's like in rounds. And if you're not on the screen, like if it's not my turn to draw, like I'm not on the screen, I'm just kind of like waiting. So I have every round I have like 15 minutes just like, oh, I got to go get a beer and go ticket this. This is good. This is working out for me just fine. And then like when you come back, you're just instantly entertained.
I don't like that.
It's been working out for me in terms of getting drinks
on the show, right? You haven't plugged this really on our show.
I think I mentioned it, but I didn't really plug it. I mean, there's nothing to plug. I guess I can plug their show. Hey guys, watch Watchnary on YouTube on the Leafcast channel.
I mean,
it's really fun actually. We're having a good time.
Yeah, you're a regular contributor. I mean, you're a part of that show.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't do it. I guess I was hesitating or not like blowing it up yet because like I was like, well, I don't know if I'm gonna be there every single time or I don't know what's going on. But like now it's just like, oh, I'm there every time.
Did you tell Lauren yet?
She's aware. She's aware.
Obviously,
she's pissed about it. No, it's not. It's the first Sunday of the month. So it's once a month. It's very easy. It's very easy on my schedule.
It's like Jono's never heard of ground ups, sleeping pills, and soup.
Jono, how do you think I got a hold of our action figure collection?
I mean, come on, man.
It's
You want a night to yourself.
fucking tryptophan, you know? Feed her a lot of turkey.
It's like that bottles. Turkey tetrazzini again.
Well,
Bottles of wine.
It's the only thing I know how to make.
Oh man. Anyway, we're off to a late start.
Yeah.
I mean,
Small talk.
us.
That's what you got.
I mean,
that's it. That's the
all
whole
I got.
episode.
Yeah, I got nothing. My brain's been on many other things recently.
Well,
as you can
great
tell,
news.
just
Let's
like
talk
John
about
Oliver,
matters
I'm
most.
coming to you from a white void.
Let's talk about the fact no one can see
that but us.
Jordan Con's on.
That's
true.
We can talk about that.
That is some news. But also, I think they're still looking for donations to quote unquote weather the storm. So if you guys want to donate, go over to jordancon.org and give them some money. I think they have some pretty fun, weird,
First of all,
prizes involved.
Yeah, if you donate $50,000, you can be on our show.
Do you want to talk about that?
Or if you halfway know us, just ask. We'll be like,
yeah, you
sure.
can just ask. You can just ask.
But $50,000 first.
Jennifer said that Jeff Daniel, who, for those of you who have no idea who that is, and why would you? He used to run Tavern Teas, and we know him from JordanCon, obviously. And I guess they were talking about that whole, what should we do as, offerings, or, what should we... And, so Jennifer just texted me and goes, Jeff said we should let somebody take over your show for, some of 80... I think he said $80,000 or something like that. He's like, hey, for 80 grand. And
I need a cut of that.
Seriously, if that happens, we need
do it
some
for
of that.
800. I don't give a shit.
But I mean, the idea is funny, but no one's going to do that. That's insane.
Thanks.
No. Well, I mean, they are technically a charity. It is the tax write-off. Somebody might do.
True. But the point, that's fine. That's a fair point. But the point being is Jennifer was like, do you want me to do a ridiculous number because that's funny? Or do you want me to do a realistic number? And I was like, we'll just let whoever do it. It's fine. Just put something insane in.
I legit
try to get money.
When I tweeted it, I was just like, there's at least a 10% chance that JB's going to do this. At least.
Coming to JordanCon.
It'd be amazing. I think they were, I don't know why they even thought of us at all, other than that we're there every year. But it might be because of Tom's extraordinary charity work we've been doing lately.
So
That's right.
I booked my hotel room the second I saw that it was back on. And then a day later, I was like, wait, am I going to have to wear a mask the whole time?
Yes, you will.
I'm not going to go.
I mean, you have a vaccine that's, that qualified. You don't.
What I want to know, so, Jono, are we going to do the live show? I guess, wait, this is weird. I have to ask Tom this too. Guys, are we going to do the live show with 7 feet between us and the audience and a plastic plexiglass shield so we can take our masks off? Or are we going to do the live show like this? We're going to the whole time.
We usually do the speaker sound anyway, so we start off.
I mean, you don't have to ask me. I'm not going to go.
Yeah.
Selling his room.
Sorry, circling back around to that. Never mind. Just focusing back on you, Jono. That's the question.
Thank you. Yes, we should do it from a second room. Just virtually from another room right next door.
You know when they have those ballrooms that have the collapsible
closing
walls?
doors? Yeah.
Yeah, the accordion walls. We should sit on the other side of it and just have a screen on the other side of that, and we'll just sit in that room and be like, and just be drinking and having a party. Like, woo, you guys should be back here. It's so much fun. And it's just a quiet room filled with people with masks that can't drink in public, and they're like, it's the greatest podcast live show I've ever been to.
We are alone cast.
We are on the other side of a wall.
Isn't that what we've been going for this entire time, to be a lone cast with all of this Home Alone business? And we're finally going to pull it off.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You can get into our to our podcast.
If we get Macaulay Culkin on this show, we're changing the name to Alone Cast.
I don't think it's ever going to happen, but I'm going to keep trying sporadically, and we'll see.
Change to Macaulay.
Listen, we're changing the name to a lone cast, and we'll still do the Wheel of Time, but the name's changing forever.
He's kind of a random guy. Like if I tweet him at the exact right moment, he might just be like, sure.
You know what?
Here's the other problem.
I'll hop on.
If I tweet him and he's like, sure, let's do it right now. Like, that's the only way it's going to happen. Like, you guys have to be ready to go at a moment's notice.
I'm in the middle of
I am ready to go at a moment's notice. We can make a Zoom call in 5 seconds. It'll automatically record. We can all jump on the phone. I'd quit my job for that time.
I might quit mine.
Why wouldn't I?
I'd be in a meeting with my CEO and be like, I gotta go. I'm sorry, it's Macaulay.
Honestly, if you explained it,
and I think he'd understand.
That makes sense.
Yeah. You know what?
That's technically the plot of Elf, right? I mean, like, he just leaves him alone for his son, where his son, guess what? Same age as Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone. Therefore, it makes sense. You had to go with it.
If I was in a meeting with a client and I looked at my phone, I was like, I have to go. This is Macaulay Culkin. Be like, what?
His biggest bullshit line is like all he could think of. Like,
then I would show them. I'd be like, seriously, like, I have to go. And they'd be like, holy fuck. All right, see you later. Like, we'll pick this up in an hour. Not even an hour. It's like he's going to be on for an hour. We'll pick this up in 20 minutes. I'll be right back. Would you play with your phone like I know you wanted to do anyway? This meeting was boring for everybody.
The client just puts 2 fucking little mints in your hands as have fun.
I'll text you the link. See ya.
I think it would work out fine. Jono, how would your job happen? Macaulay Culkin meeting in the middle of a meeting. Like, how would it happen?
I just say that my real wife is calling, and then I just walk out. Like, there's really. I think that it'd be fine if I just said Macaulay Culkin is calling and showed it proof. I don't think anyone would get upset with that. Like, I think that that's kind of one of those like universal truths that just like, well, if that happens, what the fuck?
You don't have to say that. You just look down and then like furrow your brow and then look upset and be like, I'm sorry, I really have to take this, and just walk out.
This is real. This is real.
Literally anything. And then when you walk back in, you could be like, that was Macaulay Culkin. They thought your mom died.
Sorry, I couldn't tell if they'd gone to the airport.
Family emergency? Yeah. Macaulay Culkin.
Well, the cars are still here. They can't have gone to the airport. So this is our episode covering the Dragon Reborn, written by Robert Jordan. Chapters 23 through 26. I'm sorry, I said that all wrong. This is our 2 episode code.
No, that's not going to work. We can't keep
Dragon Reborn.
That's never going to work.
Written by Robert Jordan. Chapter 23 through... question mark. I don't know the end.
You sound like the midget from Twin Peaks.
26.
Yeah, a fucking midget from Twin Peaks. Is that the mayor from Portlandia?
The midget from Twin Peaks is worth having a large discussion on what the fuck is happening in those parts. But
is that midget's name Rollo? Are we doing a 3-way combination right now?
Yes.
Chapter 23. What's it about? Or who is it? What's it called? I never write this down.
It's called Sealed.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's called Kiss from a Rose.
Oh, all right. Well, here's your
past tense.
Let's catch you guys up on what happened in that chapter. Egwene comes out of the ring and Aleda calls her a racial slur. They discuss choosing Ajas, and Alana wants to work in the kitchens, and then Egwene cries. I put that in quotes with Elaine.
Yeah, it did seem a little forced. Oh, sorry, I was focusing on your last note. I guess we should circle back to the beginning.
No, we should start at the end and then go back to the.
That was the recap.
Yeah, let's talk about racial slurs in Alida.
Yeah, wilder, or as they say in Germany, wilder.
She even goes out of her way to say, I understand you were trained by Aes Sedai, but still a wilder. I was like, what? She is not a wilder. It's so stupid.
Do you ever think more would come of that? Like people calling people wilders and whatnot? Like it's just kind of like,
she's the only
insult
one that
doesn't really lead to anything.
You're a wilder, and here's why.
Well, especially we see that Galena, who's the head of the Reds and the Black, like she's got her own like self-taught shit, and so does Elvira. Self-taught shit with like trying to like her world's dumbest version of trying to do what the fuck's it called? Like when you force someone to do whatever it is. It's like they all have these
compulsion.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, she has compulsion light. I remember that.
Diet compulsion.
Yeah, diet compulsion.
All got these like attempts at it. So like they've all like, tried to learn on their own, and yet Elida is like, bitch.
I mean, it's obviously Jordan's attempt to tip us off to the fact that Elida is going to become a Voldemort-type character by making it basically a different name for the term mudblood from Harry Potter.
Yeah. And also, well, I mean, I agree with you, but I think you missed his reference.
I mean, as we all know, the Wheel of Time's a ripoff of Harry Potter.
Yeah, like but I mean, like, if Tom got it wrong, though, she's Umbridge.
Yeah, she's more of a Dolores Umbridge.
It's actually a really good point.
Yeah, because like that was the point why she, she likes all the flowers in book 1, just like Dolores.
Yeah, her room is pink, and she's like, it's a shade of red, and
she gets carried off by centaurs.
Not close enough. Yeah, and then
I love that.
And raped by centaurs. As we all know, rape is one of the 3 prongs of the Dark One's plan.
Try to.
I don't think we've explained the 3 prongs of the Dark One's plan in quite a long time.
We haven't because we haven't gotten into it yet, Tom. But as we get there, we'll start elaborating it. Yeah,
I sometimes forget it. Is it just weather, rape, and murder?
No, it's headaches.
Murder is way too evil, man. What's wrong with you?
Murder? Come on.
I always forget the 3rd one. I mean, it's impossible to forget weather. It's like a theme throughout the entire book. The whole time he's writing.
About the last one.
Outside every time while he's reading the books, and just like
murder?
Weather sucks.
Headaches, obviously.
He had such a headache he couldn't remember what the 3rd one was. Diabolical.
So Egwene asks Sheriam what it's like to be a Green Aja.
Well, hold on. I'd like to go back.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I actually find it.
I'm not backtracking or going forward. I'm just reading my notes. Continue.
Yeah. So the first thing that she's kind of like of note here to my mind is all 3 from the last chapter were about Rand, and she comes out just like, "Is that all my life is? Just fuck this guy over and over and over again?" Which is funny because what does she proceed to do? She stands in his way over and over and over again later on. And again,
for the good of the tower, Jono. The Hogwarts tower.
I mean, honestly, it's a really good point.
As soon as you said that, I was just like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I think her motivations change at some point, but there's nothing wrong with that per se. I mean, like, she still has his best interests at heart while simultaneously wanting to preserve the White Tower.
The White Tower surviving the last battle is a nice to have, not a need to have.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like, again, Rand needs to be checked. He's not always right. The way Moraine and Cadsuane try to do it, I get it. They're trying their best, and Egwene is a pale shadow of that. But at the same time, like, what eventually happens, she lets her ego go so far, even probably far further than Rand's to a certain extent, about her just, self.
I don't know. I think they're kind of on the same level.
Feels like a lot of hate mail coming our way.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. I mean, well, if so, whatever.
If so,
I guess
so.
Yeah, but I agree with John. I mean, like, but I think.
I wish you thought that's what it was.
I think she's dealing with a very crazy ass Rand at a certain point.
That's very true.
And then when he's like, Jesus, Rand, and he's like, who cares? I'll walk in the White Tower. You'll protect me, right? Or whatever that happens at that point. But it's just like.
And it's a good question. Which one looks crazier, Jesus Rand or Heart of Stone Rand, too, right? Where, like, he can barely channel half the time because it just makes him fucking physically nauseous. At the same time, like, all his people are trained to kill anything on sight. It's a not steady look. So I get it. But at the same time, like, how do you go from this to just like her mindless devotion to?
I agree, and I think the key that Tom just said, it's like the White Tower surviving the last battle is nice. It doesn't need to happen. Rand surviving the last battle doesn't need to happen either, but he needs to get there. And so your whole mission should be focused on getting him there and getting the last battle won, not necessarily
and getting him there as
like everything else is just happy side circumstance.
Worst case scenario, Rand wins the last battle and there's one man and one woman left alive, but at least he did something.
It's Adam and Eve.
Let's make some babies, and then let's get real incestuous with it.
I was just going to say real incestuous. I was just going to say what we don't know is that boy and girl are Elaine's children. The only ones left alive. They just fuck each other. It's really bad.
I got the wrong movie. There's that Year One movie with Jack Black, but that's not quite right because there's still people around. But I was just like, had this idea of just Jack Black and Michael Cera, the only people alive, and they have to mate.
They can't have babies.
I haven't seen that movie in a million years. Also, I don't remember it being very good.
I've never seen it. Anyway, back on track. God damn. Obviously, our good friend Elida comes over, like you said.
Yeah, she's acting like a real cunt. What?
But she's an honest cunt, right? You know, she's not just a cunt; she's an honest cunt, and I appreciate that. And then speaking of maybe not,
it seems
honest,
like extraordinarily like standoffish.
No, in this case, like she's actually quasi-apologetic, and then
isn't Elaine equally a wilder if Egwene is a wilder?
How fucking dare you? Yes, but remember, there's something about the.
Elena never taught her anything. Probably.
That's correct.
I guess
until she got to the tower.
Yeah, but she knows.
What about her mom, like teaching her shit at night, like before she goes to bed?
Like cunnilingus?
Yeah. This is how you in the White Tower. There's little dildo holes.
Open the rose petals, Elaine. Open the rose petals.
Dildo holes.
Air dildos, Tom. Air dildos. You can't fit a real dildo through that.
How big are these holes?
It's a pinhole, but you can put an air dildo through it.
They're all like 18 and never seen a man, so the holes don't need to be that big.
I feel like they've all.
It's just a needle.
I feel like they've all seen a man. They weren't born in the White Tower.
Also, how are you fucking this hole? Like if it's just in the wall, like just like.
I told you, it's an air dildo on the other side of the wall. It's not hard to figure out.
That's it. They just blow through it really hard, and it just
on that note,
slight breeze on your clitoris. Slight.
Damn, we got about a real weird tangent. This is chapters ago.
Yeah.
Alana wants to be punished.
Yeah. So, speaking of, that makes sense. That follows what we're
10 years ago, Tom wanted to know if Alana was just into S&M or if she was really like a Black Aja, or we're trying to figure out what that was.
It's so weird because I
don't disagree with to this day.
I can't.
Egwene's just seeing Black Aja everywhere.
She is. It's kind of delightful, but you can't blame her. Like in this case, you can't blame her for that because no one's acting normally. Everyone possibly saw these papers. Everyone, there's all these like weird things of what the fuck am I supposed to do? Like so, paranoia. As
a reader, I remember being like, I want more description on whether or not her clothing was disturbed, and they might have or may not have read those papers or looked at the ring or whatever. I mean, clearly not. But
yeah, I guess the answer is no.
At the time, I was like, how do you not give me more information right now?
And probably the answer is there's nothing wrong with someone having carted off a pile of papers after seeing the brown Aja. There is nothing weird here at all. But obviously, she's understandably pretty concerned about it. This is also an interesting start of Alana becoming just such a weird fucking character.
Yeah.
She's just fascinated by Rand, and that's why she wants to be near Egwene because she clearly does not. I
assume that's what it is because if you look at what her motivations might be, like there's nothing else. It's got to be like the link to Rand, which is just bizarre.
She knows
it's so like widest way around the circle to get back to Rand to be like, let me stick close to Egwene for no reason. Like, so
there's that Black Jaw chick later on who eventually betrays Rand, but intentionally so, who's ardently in love with him because she's like, I've got to make sure he gets all the way to the boss battle. So can't kill him now. So in that case, that's a little bit of the Tavirandus. What if this is a similar thing for someone who's not Black Aja, who's just got this.
Talking about Elsa Penfell, my favorite character right now.
Yeah, that's the one.
Correct.
Egwene finds it convenient that there's 13 Black Aja, and then she asked them about it. The real we don't have time to discuss it, Jono. We're moving on. Anyway, she walks in and Elaine's crying, and she bursts into tears. And Tom said, like, it seems forced. It does. However,
my air quotes around cries were for some sort of lesbian sex, but whatever.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. So 10 years ago, this was the end chapter of our episode. Tom literally just read straight from the book about how Elaine's Nynaeve is sitting with Elaine in her face in her lap while she's like shaking and vibrating.
It's a good point, Tom.
Buried in her lap. And then Jono said that's tWoTcast for this week. And I was like, that was fantastic. We were really good. We were on our game. It was episode 10. Good job, boys.
10 years ago, we were really good.
Yeah, we were really good at our job.
We've gone backwards. What I think is interesting here is her last comment, though, is like Elaine says, I could not be that awful. That's what she saw in the Aes Sedai or the Accepted Challenge. So I assume she just read and watched herself. Like,
yeah, I mean, she kind of did in a way.
She just
Elaine in the Rings was just what she did yesterday.
Yeah. Like, just I couldn't be that awful. It was just like people reading reviews of the book about
Elaine.
Yes,
you can.
Oh my god, I suck at this.
Next chapter, Joe.
Chapter 24 is called Scoutings, and by Scoutings I mean Scouting and Discoveries.
Scouting.
It's a Matt chapter, and he's on the Tower grounds.
All right, Matt investigates leaving, runs into fake Else. I'm never going to say Elsie. I can't stand it. Lanfear is terrible at subterfuge. He fights Galvin Gwyn. Super cool chapter.
I think I say Else, but I have said Elsie by mistake.
I'm tired of the pronunciation police, and I'm not changing the way I say anything.
You don't have to.
Yeah, let's to clarify, because I think we've said this on the Patreon quite a few times because we discussed the TV show mostly on Patreon, but like it's Lan.
I'm never doing that
for the rest of time.
Never
saying Lan.
Where is that coming from?
I don't know. Is this probably the best chapter ever?
It may be.
Fireworks.
The fireworks at the end of this are pretty fucking awesome.
Kulan. Oh wait, that happens not in a chapter. It's a flashback.
It's true.
Yeah, but the flashback chapter where he thinks about it is awesome. The Ruidian chapter with him is awesome.
There's chapters later in this book, even when he kills the guy hunting the girls. It's pretty awesome.
That's true. And him blowing his way into the Stone of Tyr, and I mean blowing.
Yeah, those fireworks.
He uses fireworks to explode the side of the building.
This chapter is really fucking good, though. You have to say, it's like legend. It's in the top 5.
Everything
just the fact that he fights. It's memorable enough to where everyone knows this chapter.
This is what changes him, I think, in a lot of people's minds.
Yeah, and it's only the third chapter, so I guess it makes sense because beforehand, like we've talked about, it's just kind of an immature prick. While moderate, especially when not done with a Sanderson voice. Sorry, dude. To all of a sudden he just kind of you get inside his head and everything makes way more sense.
So he's trying to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, John.
No, and it's just kind of perfect. Like Tom kind of. Like, there's really not much that happens here necessarily. It's like he's trying to find out how easy it would be to leave.
Well, I have a really important question on the leaving part. We meet Bail Doman, the tower guard.
Bail Doman?
And he's trying to figure out if he can leave the island. Oh yeah, it's an Iliana. It do be an Iliana. Iliana. They all know who he is, and this guy, unlike Bail Doman, who's never said this, he said Fortune abandoned me, which I thought was interesting. And I was like, what else does Fortune do? That just sparked a million thoughts in my brain. I was like, Fortune abandoned me. I've never heard that.
Are you sure Bail Doman's never said that before?
He said Fortune pricked me a lot, but he's never said Fortune abandoned me.
By the way, it's an interesting question on its own. And maybe
then I was like, can Fortune fuck me? Or was that the same as pricking me? Or is pricking violent? Or is it a violent fuck? Or can Fortune sodomize me? Like, is there an alien going like, Fortune sodomize me?
It is.
You're like, whoa, what?
It is really hard. Like,
how weird can it get? That's my question.
When we get to the awesome action chapters, like, we're like, oh, I love this chapter. What do you guys want to say? And then we have nothing to say because it's like we can't describe it. Like, oh, I like when he hit him that one time and hit him that one time. So maybe we should just deep dive into Fortune prick me for the next 10 minutes. and then we'll move on to chapter 25.
Wait, I have another weird question that's not about action. I have more weird questions.
Oh, well, keep going then.
All right, so
this is what we're going to focus on until chapter 25. We all acknowledge
I'm still
the fight is off.
on Ilianer Bridge Guard. I haven't moved on. But so this is my second question. So he says he has a charcoal drawing of Matt. Who's making these drawings? And why have we never seen these people making drawings? They're so prevalent and everywhere. And I just don't understand where it's happening. Why is there not one scene of someone coming into a room while Matt sleeps and someone's just drawing him? Or like an Aes Sedai sitting at a desk like a police sketch artist where they're like, no, the eyes are more round. Shaggier hair.
It wouldn't be an Aes Sedai.
Like,
definitely someone in the Tower Guard is definitely a sketch artist.
Where did these drawings come from? Who is doing them? I want to see this person in a chapter.
Charcoal drawings, like that are concrete. There's the Rand drawing at the beginning of this book. There is, I guess,
those are street artists.
Yeah, Matt right here. But there's also
sketch artists.
But then artists recreate those street drawings, and you're just like, okay, because this one's full color, like he had pastels.
In book 9, when Rand's in Farmatic, Rand using what's his name? Luce Theron acknowledges draws his own charcoal drawing of one of the fucking dudes. All
right. So there's one human being that we've seen actually draw something on screen, and it's Rand.
Maybe Luce Theron wants everyone to know the dragon's been reborn, and so Rand is sleep drawing and passing things up.
It's like before Rand the Beggar is like in on the West Coast.
They definitely have
he just spends a lot of time
thumb up in the air for perspective.
Going around and pretending to be somebody else and drawing pictures and then he wakes up, he's like, I had a weird dream I was drawing Matt. But that doesn't make sense. I haven't seen Matt in 6 months. Luce Theron is just taking over his body Fight Club style and like traveling to Tar Valon and like drawing for the Aes Sedai and like, see you later, I'm not important.
This is what he looks like. This looks like you. Nope.
When he becomes Jesus Rand, he goes through that like whole thing of fucking like apple trees and all that. Like that's where he becomes his impressionist version. And like he's just kind of like drawing them very natural. It's beautiful stuff.
Yeah. Side note, that's my new goal, to get on the show just to be one of these charcoal guys.
So they have a sketch artist.
Just have me on the show as like a charcoal sketchy guy, and I'll just be like, look, that's Matt.
Is it a member of the guard? Or is it an Aes Sedai? Like, Bethman, you can draw. You can draw this picture of Matt real quick? I'm like, sure. She's like,
I was at the healing, but I mean, he looked emaciated.
I need you to do that.
Just fluff out his cheeks a little bit.
99 more times.
Best part.
We don't have copy machines. There's a one-power copy machine.
There is not. One of my favorite old SNL episodes.
There's some Terangriel that does copies.
I love that idea. Why not?
Be.
There's already a Robert Jordan.
There's got to be some sort of rod-shaped wand that they wave over a piece of paper that just copies the book.
There's this dumb SNL with with Norm Macdonald, where it's right after they caught the Unabomber, and it looks nothing like the picture. Like it's this guy going on, like he's like, yeah, I just draw with hats because I'm not very good with hair or eyes, and he's just like chef hat killer. They never caught him for some reason. Like that's how I feel.
The bridge guard holds up the drawing to Matt's face and goes, "Well, you're Matt Collin if I ever saw it." And then he turns around and it's just like the worst drawing ever with like a baseball cap and sunglasses.
It's like it's like every sketch of Heisenberg on Breaking Bad. It's the hat,
exactly,
glasses, and a mustache.
I'm like, shitty
who's
hat.
finding this guy? Could be anybody.
That looks just like him. Anyway, I have normal notes for the rest of the chapter.
That's why Tar Valon's population is so high. None of them can fucking leave because they all look kind of like the picture. Yeah. So they're all stuck.
I mean, I have one question before we move on to the next chapter because we might not hit notes. Sure. Why does Lanfear go to the trouble of disguising herself and then acting exactly like Lanfear?
Oh, I have more questions about Elsie. Fake.
Yeah, let's do all of those. Actually, it's in my notes for the next chapter, but from now on, we're just going to call her Elsphere.
Yeah,
I love Elsphere because, like, to your point, like, so she's under
it's
the
in my
mask
notes for the next
right?
chapter too.
So she can't, like, she wants to pull far enough away from Matt so that he can't touch her because all of a sudden the mask of mirror is penetrated. So, like, again, you've actually given yourself unnecessary risk to not be anything that he would ever fucking get anyway. Like, that's why she stayed far away from him. And it's
so my question for Elsphere is, does she have Else in a closet somewhere and she's compulsed, or is she going to classes?
She killed her.
Else is dead.
She
Yeah,
killed
I
her
know
on the
that,
farm.
but I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. But would Lanfear waste time being like attending classes? Like, no, like, that's what I'm like. Does she just have Else? Like, she hasn't killed her yet at this point, and she's just like in a closet,
she's dead.
waiting.
We'll find out in a couple chapters that Else Grinwell was putting on a boat like a week ago.
That's a good point, actually, because like, you can't skip all of your lessons and then just walk around the White Tower looking like Elsphere.
Yeah,
Someone's going to stop you and be like, why weren't you in class?
Or someone's going to recognize.
She's already supposed to be on a boat.
And then you're clearly a horrible actress. And you're just going to be like, how dare you ask me to go to class?
Yeah.
You're like, what is
Call
happening?
me a novice?
Call me, I should die. You're a bunch of dumb bitch.
Since clearly Else is dead, and she never got on a boat, or if she did, she got murdered.
She got murdered
Or
on
maybe
that
she
farm,
did.
right?
Did she
am
happen
I
to
thinking
leave?
of somebody else? She got sent to penance on a farm and killed. No, that was the girl that
No, it was a
brought
different girl.
men to the Emerald. Yeah, never mind.
That was a different girl.
Yeah.
So on that note, if she's walking around as Else, whether Else is dead or not, isn't the point. If Lanfear is walking around, if Elsphere is walking around, how many Aes Sedai has Elsphere compulsed just to get out of going to class or some other random thing that they ask her to do as a novice? A million, right? Oh, it's got to be so many. Like, hey, can you carry this and bring it down the hallway?
No.
just constant, just left and right. She can't walk down a fucking hallway without somebody being like,
I mean, the tower is very sparsely populated, Joe.
There you go. And not only that, she doesn't have to look like Else every time. She can look like someone else.
Also, Else has a reputation for being a little loose, so they're like, why weren't you in class?
she's clearly just
Fucking
something else in like disguise.
Sucking and fucking is better, actually.
Jesus.
Anyway,
Now who's the
Matt
novice?
beats up the boys. It's amazing. And he almost kills Galad. He barely holds back, and I love that part. That's my main
Imagine
thing.
how much that would have changed things if he just killed
Also-
Gollum.
What if he would have killed Gilgalad?
Galad, yeah. That would have changed a lot.
Let's get that over with.
Maybe that's the change that Rafe is going to do. Is like, actually, Matt kills Gollum right here, and the whole series is better.
Yeah, Gawain's just head just gets cracked up, and we tried to heal him right away. I guess
Gawain dies,
All of our
Galad
CGI
dies,
budget on brain dropping out.
and then Morgaze and Elaine die from sympathy pains, and it's over.
maybe Jono, maybe that's what actually happened. Like, Gawain got cracked in the head. Some of his brains leaked out. They healed him. But those brains didn't go back inside. That's why he's a fucking idiot from this moment forward.
He actually has to grow his hair long because
No,
there's his brain hanging out the side.
If his brains fall out like that, then they're going to have some sort of like Krang-like creature that's Gawain as well. And that's Gawain's boyfriend.
There's a little Krang Gawain brain running around like, I'm the good part of Gawain.
There is no good part of Gawain.
Give me a little robot body.
So, I mean, like we said, the fight itself is cool, and I really do wish he killed him. There's only like 2 references in the entire book to Jerome, which is a very generic name for the best swordsman of all time.
Is there really? I feel like I know that so well.
Well, it says here, and then like there's some simpering bitch later on when Rand's like after he's taken over Care came on, he's like,
look at them, Jerome.
Younglings.
Yeah.
Doesn't it come up with Gwen and the Younglings? Oh no, they talk about Hammer a lot. What it is. Yeah.
But Jerome was the best swords fighter of all time, but he lost to a farmer. Seems like maybe you shouldn't say a farmer, like a fucking quarterstaff champion bar none. Because wouldn't that guy's name be almost more legendary in a way? Like, wouldn't you be like, he never lost a fight in 10,000 fights except for this one time? That guy immediately he's number one.
My thought is maybe occasionally.
It doesn't matter if you win 10,000 times if you're second place in one fight.
Yeah, thanks, Ricky Bobby.
Yeah.
Next chapter.
Wait, I have one last thing. Question on that note. At what point does Lan surpass this dude? Because Lan's awesome. Do you think the Legends of Lan beat Jerome? You
mean Lon?
I'll kill you.
Never. Get out of here.
Mute Jono's screen.
All right, anyway, chapter 25.
It's
questions. It's an Egwene chapter. They're in Nynaeve's rooms.
Land for your icon.
Yeah, I just put Egwene, Elaine, Nynaeve, Black Aja, and Terangriel lists. They're just going, they're the worst detectives, and then just Elsphere again.
It's kind of delightful.
I really just want to talk about Lanfear's really horrible ability to sneak around places. I don't care about the rest of it.
I don't even understand why she has a disguise. Just be invisible. Step into the world of dreams. You have like 1,000 ways of like not being seen.
If you knock on the door and you're like, I'm Elsphere, and here's some clues. I'll see you later. And you're like, oh no, they're chasing me. Well, I'm gonna run. I'm like, oh, I'm not running fast enough. She's gonna catch me. Well, I guess I'll just turn into myself and turn around.
Yeah.
How is that the plan?
That's the plan. You just turn around on the staircase and be like, I was walking the other way. Who am I? Who knows? Don't pay attention to how amazingly beautiful I am.
I did see another girl. She was running really fast.
She was super fast. She's long gone.
God damn it. I'm not ready to go there, but there's so much.
She's Usain Bolt.
Uh-oh. I fucking love it. I love that Tom said Usain Bolt proceeded to just chug his whole drink like
yeah, he knew that was the last thought. That was it. He knew that was it.
Before, in my mind, although we've already fucking done half of it, before Egwene even walks out the door, we have like pretty much the entire next book is spoiled. And once you know what's going on, which makes it not a spoiler, I guess, because Egwene starts talking about like the dreams she's had and pretty much reveals the entire plot of book 4. White Cloak's arresting her dad, Shan-Chan capturing Aes Sedai, Rand with Kalendor, that's this book, I guess, with Bilal the Night Keeper. Dragon
to be fair, it's the end of this book.
Yeah. Only you can catch me with a sword.
You gotta fit the name Bilal in there somewhere. It can't be that.
Only Bilal catch me with a sword.
No, you changed only to Bilal, obviously.
Come on. Then, the dragon tattoos.
Right there.
And then
the dragon tattoos always, I love that. Like, I know it's insane, cool. But like, I like to imagine that that's how the tattoos came to be.
Just
I know it's not. I know it's not, but they're like magical tattoos. So it's like, I like to imagine like weird 1 power miniature dragons literally wrapped themselves around his arms and then they just like melted into his hands. Because like the imagery of that is just fantastic.
It's really cool. Like, and then she switches to Perrin with 2 birds, Berlin and Fael. And then he's got a beard, which that's the most shocking for her is that he just didn't shave for a week.
It's like, oh my god.
Yeah,
it takes quite a while to realize Berlin's the other.
It does.
Or no?
Yeah,
I think
there's a couple different hawks already. I mean, there's like Hawk Wing, and then there's the Shan-Chan that use hawks as their flag, and there's a couple other like weird ways you could go with that at this point.
Her family is supposed to be from Hawk Wing, so she's technically a hawk on her flag.
Oh yeah. No, she is, but I mean, like. Yeah. But we don't know that yet, is my point. So like at this juncture in the books, like you have like a couple of different like there's this. I don't know. Maybe it's one of those.
Fail is literally just falcon. Like if Berlin does not translate to hawk. Then like so he's with wolves too, and then it's Matt with 1 eye.
I've got that right here. Berlin translates to chesty in the old tongue.
That's a new
chesty. That's all I've got.
Anyway, so Matt's with 1 eye, which obviously means he's just drinking with Uno.
Oh wait, there is more. Parentheses, large amounts of cleavage.
Oh yeah, and I apologize. My notes are not sufficient.
I think he was trying to elaborate on chesty, large amounts of cleavage.
Do your notes not also have under cleavage?
They don't. Kind of get
no, but it does mention side boobs. So
does it mention décolletage?
It does say décolletage.
Anyway.
Does it mention areola slippage?
I believe Areola is one of the Aes Sedai we see in book 9 and 10.
Yeah, she betrays Rand.
So Matt also
calls him a tit.
Yeah.
Matt also what? You've tried to say this 3 times. I'm sorry. Matt what?
Matt also with the Sean Chan. I like that she just assumes any dream with the Sean Chan is just, that's a nightmare.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in her defense, like she's not convinced she's a dreamer. She doesn't actually see these as premonitions. She's just like trying to clarify where her dreams come from. And she's like, well, Matt was 6 and Matt and the Sean Chan's just me. And then, like a lot of that makes sense to me. Like, she's just like, that's silly. I'm reading too much into this.
They think
I would probably handle that logically the same way. I would have just immediately assumed like, these are portents of the future. Like I'd be like, that's probably bullshit.
It's very disappointing, Joe. I thought better of you. Anyway, so speaking of, I would think better of people. If Elaine can see the lack of randomness here, that like there's 2 from each country, 2 from each genre, like it's so perfectly placed, like then anyone can. And all the Terangriel, their dream Terangriel, and the hedgehog and the bell.
I think the obvious key here is that Varen left clues for them, I think.
Well, these aren't clues. I mean, these are just the facts of the people that left. These aren't clues from
Yes, but she wrote specific things and like, maybe pay attention to these things.
It's Varen saying to tip off like there's way more Black Aja than you think.
Right, yes. I think it's Varen being Black Aja going like, hey, this is an obscure thing and maybe you'll notice and maybe you won't, but
like we have so many Black Aja to choose from that we decided to pick very specific.
Very specific.
Like you got to wonder how dumb Galena is, because I think Galena is the leader of the Black at the time, and so like listen, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here. Like, do you not know anything about random numbers? At least get like one of the White Aja or something like that to kind of do some logic that just says like logically, there's a larger population in Andor or something like that.
This is ridiculous.
3 from there.
Yeah, some basic statistics should tell you where they came from if there's 13 of them. We don't need.
This is not a 0.05 p-value on how random this is.
I wrote Nynaeve's always angry. That's her secret.
It's not a very good secret.
It's an Avengers quote.
It's a Hulk reference.
It's a Hulk reference. But I mean, like they're all like, "Stop being so mad," and they do it in the next chapter too. And I'm like, she's clearly trying to stay angry. You idiot!
Just be mad all the time.
She can't channel when she's mad. She's clearly letting her temper run wild so she can stay at that peak of angerness so she can channel.
She's so close to being mad all the time anyway. Just embrace it.
She's a woman. They're crazy. She starts taking.
Oh, by the way, on Jono's note of the Aes Sedai or the 13 or all those little clues, Elaine says she makes a straw bridge, and I wrote, that's when you use a bridge to drink your beverage. I don't know if you guys knew that. An important note.
I could see us at a bar with Lauren right now with 6 different straws.
The library is where you check out books.
She's like, I made a bridge made of straw. And I was like, a straw bridge? Is that how you drink your drinks?
God damn it. Anyway, so Wayne's like, we're gonna use.
Oh yeah, they do plan to use the dream ring tonight, which is crazy.
It's not. It is. I do.
On the note of the. Sorry, go ahead, John.
It just reminds me of the same thing they do in Tyr in the next book. Like when she eventually decides to go to Tanchico, they go to Tanchico and she goes to Aiel. Like they sit there like, who's going to use it? Who's going to use it? Like, look, you're the dreamer. It's like it's this very like.
Well, once she can enter the dream world on her own.
Yeah, this shouldn't need it.
It makes sense that she like hands them the ring, but at the same time, you're just like, obviously, she should be the one using it right now. It was given to her for a reason, for fuck's sake. Yeah. But Nynaeve's just pulling some proprietary, like, I'm a grown lady. You're children still. Bullshit. She even calls Elaine child at one point in this, and Elaine like just says, I got a ring. Fuck you. I'm unaccepted too. But I was like. That was one note where I was like, wow, Elaine, good job, because she was being a bitch. I just wanted to say, like, we were talking about the fucking Terangriel from 10 years ago, and we were talking about the dice that always came up, crowns or whatever.
Yeah.
And they say, so in the notes it says like 1,000 times in a row. And Jono, you just said, who's the asshole that's casting these dice 1,000 times in a row?
It's a great question.
And I was just like, that is the greatest fucking comment I've ever heard. We're not going to top it.
If you get to 900 and they're just like, do it 100 more times, like, why?
What's the point?
You.
It's
All right, 87 more times and I'm out. It's fucking amazing.
That just has to be annoying as shit too. And considering how weird they bounce, like, it's not just you throw them on a table and it just kind of falls real easily.
No, it's just like they bounce like real dice, and then it just every time you're just like, that's insane.
Arbitrary number. Like, how many times do you roll dice and get the same number in a row before you're like, all right, we're done with this? Like 50.
We got it.
And then someone channeling through them,
what's so fucking good?
Yeah.
Who's the asshole casting these dice? My favorite. I was like crying laughing. I was like, man, we nailed that. And then we also had a really good theory. We're like, maybe they're using it to get money to go. They're gambling. And I was like, that's actually not a bad point. Yeah, maybe they need money. We don't know.
It is
I
funny.
just thought it was really smart on both counts.
That has to be why they were originally created, right? Like, what other point do these things have?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, what would they? I really don't know. It's not like there's any reason.
Because if you're gambling with them, they're going to be like considered. You might as well just have normal weighted dice because they're going to be kicked out of a game if you win every time.
I mean, they're ace die weighted. They're ace die weighted dice. Sleight of hand.
Well, that's real. Though, like if it always threw a winning hand or something, that I would be like, okay, that's magical. But like if they're just rolling the same thing every time, it's just like that's just weighted dice. Like you're going to get kicked out of a game. Yeah.
That dude gets that in like 16 chapters from now.
Yeah, if you wanted to be really clever, you'd make dice that just did the winning hand every time, or the winning roll every time, except for 9 out of 10 times it was right in once. Like you just figure out who's new.
Those are more like Harry Potter magic rules than it would be rules of magic for this world, Joe. Come on.
You're right, and he didn't want to straight rip off Harry Potter. I mean, he wanted to change some things.
Yeah, he didn't want to straight rip it off.
So Elf comes in with some news. So I had a question about this part. Why doesn't Egwene just ask one of the paintings where else went? Because I mean, like they use those in all the other scenes.
Oh, they ran away. Remember, the paintings ran away because
the paintings ran away.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. She was in the stairwell, and then she runs into Lanfear after else, and I was just like, why don't you just ask one of the paintings?
But even if the paintings, hey, serious question. Even if the paintings ran away, why not just ask nearly headless Nick?
Yeah, just ask one of the tower ghosts.
Because he's not always. Tower is bigger than you think, right? So there's not always.
The ghosts know about everything. Come on,
he's not always
paying
there.
attention.
Maybe I don't have.
I said this 10 years ago. We didn't really come up with a real thought on it. Though, does Egwene get compulsed a little bit here? Which kind of goes back to my note about earlier about Lanfear being like, how many fucking Aes Sedai is she compulsed?
I don't think it's compulsion.
She turns on her heel and walks away, and then goes, "What the fuck am I doing?"
I think it's the secondary, maybe it's compulsion, but it's almost like it makes you think of the shift they have in Shan-Chan on the throne, right? Where like it's just so overpoweringly just brilliant to you that you're in awe of the person. That's almost what fear seems to exude. Now maybe that's compulsion on a different scale than what everyone expects.
It's suggestion.
Yeah, it's just this power of like, look how hot I am. You want to lick me?
The options are either it's some form of compulsion, even light, or Lanfear is just that hot.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you believe, but I believe Lanfear is just that hot.
And I agree with you. It doesn't hurt me at all to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree. So I guess I got nothing else.
Yeah.
I also just had a note of like, is it her? Because we didn't touch on this 10 years ago. Because I guess we didn't Lanfear is very proprietary over the world of dreams, which I guess comes up way later in the books. It's not really prevalent until much later. So is that why she's eyeballing the dream ring so hard? She knows what it is. So it's not like she's curious. It has to be am I going to let them have this? Because that's my domain.
I think the answer is yes.
Yeah, that's what I think it is too. Because at the time, I was just Well, I mean, I guess it's just a terangrial, or it's just a way to make her suspect. But at the same time, like, knowing what we know later, it's clearly like her, like, I own that fucking place. Like, you're not allowed in there. And she's going like, oh, I should fucking do something, but then it would fucking reveal me, sort of thing.
And remember, it's described later on as a training terangrial, like almost like, because the reason is,
because you don't need a channel.
Yeah. Well, channeling and dreaming are usually separate. I assume it's because it kind of puts you in there like very fully, right? Because sometimes they kind of look, a little shadowy, that kind of thing. So I wonder if she's thinking like, do I want to kind of stomach the ability of this lady to start getting trained in using it? Or is that a better tool to know that she's going to be in here and therefore know that I can fuck with her? Because the Queen, gets fucked with. It's Lanfear who is like kind of that old servant lady, Sylvie or whatever, in the start of tier later on. Like where like they're kind of coming to. It's like Lanfear starts.
So she's a good actress then.
Yeah. Only in the World of Dreams though, where she's
gotten a little better over the books. In book 4, she's a really good actress. She plays the part of a really fat, ugly lady.
It's true. She gets really fucking good. In book 5, she chooses to fall into a hole.
Honestly, and in the later books, she gender bends and she's a man.
I think in book 4 she still has her personality, just with a lot of fat around it.
You have to assume the character.
That's true.
Assume the character, and she chose the character that
slowly she becomes a better actor. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Donna, did you have one more point for this chapter before we move on?
No.
I thought you were pulling something up.
No.
All right, 26.
All right, chapter 26. Behind the lock. Sorry, Jono. I'm talking over you all night long.
I literally said behind a lock. You're fine.
But I thought you said behind a cock, which I liked.
You know what's behind a cock?
Wait, is this Narnia? Wait, no, that's a wardrobe. Never mind. I thought it was behind a cock.
It's an Egwene chapter, and she's in the Tower Bowels.
Yeah, all I wrote was the world's most obvious clues. That's all they do. I mean, that's all that happens in the whole other than who's going to go first? The only other thing I find interesting about this chapter is air crowbar. Fuck yeah. Why don't you get more of this?
Power air crowbar. I like that.
Ace and I can basically Green Lanterns, and it never comes up again.
It's pretty amazing.
So, my thought is, remember these are books that were written in the 90s. So kind of, at the time, the style was very kind of, presumably kind of thinner girls were more attractive. And like, so Elsa.
Still the case in 2021.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Elaine's comment about Elsa? Are you talking about Elaine's comment that Elsa is a little plump and not made for running?
Yeah.
Is that what you're going to talk about?
Yeah.
I thought that was weird too.
How big is this chick supposed to be? Because like every dude's just like, that chick's hot. And these girls are like, she's a little plump for running.
Yeah. So every guy is like, she's really attractive. And then Elaine says she's too plump to run. And then in my brain, I'm like, does that just mean she has big boobs?
I think it means she's
like,
jealous.
and they don't have sports bras?
Yeah.
so she's not good at running because
wait a minute.
Like
her tits are too big to run.
Yeah,
is that what this
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's gotta be. What else would it be?
I mean, knowing Robert Jordan,
she's good looking, and the only comment from a woman ever is that she's not made for running because she's too plump.
It doesn't make sense. So I've got that as my number one note here. It's just like,
it stood out to me, Jono. I'm right there with you. I'm going that's a weird comment.
The fastest runners I've seen, they come fucking jacked, right? Like they're going to be fairly thick, muscular legs, ass, and sometimes tits too. Like these are going to be some like it made for fucking running. She's a little plump for that. Like no, bitch, she fucking ran out of here. Also, she disappeared into the thin air because she was someone else. But
she means she's a little lazy. I mean, Elsa's lazy.
She is lazy.
But not with a cock.
I think that's about work ethic.
That's what you have to work.
I love the way you said that. I feel bad for Lindsay tonight.
She's in another state.
Still feel bad. It's going to be some aggressive cybering.
I wrote Nynaeve leads without a flashlight because she's stubborn.
It's called sheathing the sword.
Yeah. On screen in front of her. Yeah.
Is that a light crowbar?
Oh, we did miss one important part. I want to read you something. Tall, thick shaft.
Are you talking about the terror?
Nope, that's how they describe the White Tower. It's a tall, thick shaft, and then
they're in the base of it.
And then later on, they talk about the fact that the waves are frozen at climax.
Yeah, we all know it's a dick plunging into a vagina. We've been over this and over this.
But I just love it's a pale shaft.
Listen, we've been over and over it, but we just like to point out every single time that it's brought up in context in this series. Because it's not just us making jokes, it's in the text.
Have we made enough of a point of pointing out that Dragon Mount is the asshole and the shadow that Dragon Mount casts between itself and the tower is the taint?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, we haven't, but we have now.
Throwing out lava.
I'm really happy that you
could not be more obvious.
This is belching smoke.
This area of the Earth's crust is literally male and female nether regions.
If only the Caroline grass was just above the White Tower.
It's just grass that grows out of control. You can mow it all you want, but it just comes back.
It's the planet's crotch.
It's a weird curly grass too. It's very strange.
It was actually supposed to be curling grass, but we changed it to Caroline.
And it won't go down the shower drain no matter how hard you try.
It won't. It just won't.
Why do they even bother to block the harbors with Gwendolar when they could just put...
They can just use the curling grass.
Yeah, just put the tower's pubic hair in there.
Just block those drains with the curling grass.
I do love the fact that Egwene accidentally, for the first time, uses two flows here, which also...
Yeah, I think that was pretty cool. She was just like, I got a lightning bolt ready too, and I'm casting this thing. Like, how the fuck did I do that? I'm like, that was pretty cool. A little just like... Also, I'm awesome. I'm just going to casually mention how awesome I am.
And just later on, right after she accidentally, or not accidentally, but opens up the lock, which then our air crowbar crushes.
Yeah.
She then
you mean the
fixes
Green Lantern construct?
Yeah.
By the way, in the old episode, this is not a memory or from this what I just listened to. This is just in general. Me and Tom used to talk about Green Lantern constructs like all the time, and Jono just fought us on a tooth and nail. I think this is a clear representation of
I forgot about it.
idea.
Wasn't that the Green Lantern?
No, we were talking about Iceman Slide.
Yeah,
we talked about Iceman Slides a lot.
Like, why can't
but a lot.
Nave could make a giant air gun that would shoot a giant air bullet.
Yeah, just Iceman
like, that's
Slides.
entirely
and
possible.
John would be like, "There's no Iceman Slides," and we're like, "There is Iceman Slides. You can do it."
Yeah, an Iceman Slide. You can't always be able to hold up more than your own weight.
I mean, you don't have to go 100 feet into the sky to Iceman Slide.
I guess the point here is that, honestly, all you need to know
is... You can't
is
hold up your own weight with air, but you can with an Iceman Slide. Clearly, you don't understand the physics. He does loop-de-loops, Jono. He does whatever he wants.
Well, also, the question would be, like, if as long as you have the angle right, like, there's not that much of your weight going down.
Yeah, and you're sliding on the ice.
It makes sense. It's not supporting your weight at all. You're sliding through. It's not stairs. It's not stairs.
There's still gravity.
You're on it for a millisecond, and then you're sliding into the next position.
Moving on to the next part, and it's collapsing behind you. Who cares? You're on to the next part.
Yeah, who cares? Next part.
I feel like we covered this chapter. Iceman Slide, Green Lantern crowbar.
I did want to talk about how little, like, Egwene mentions Lanfear. I mean, physically Lanfear, not Elsphere, but she runs into Lanfear and the rats, and she's like, "Yeah, I know we're looking for the Black Aja. I ran into this like super sketchy lady, blah blah blah." She was like, I don't want to say she made me feel like a little girl, but she was. You could pick her out of a crowd of 1,000. That's her nice way of saying she intimidated the fuck out of me. But it was like one of the, and like Nini's like, yeah, whatever. Let's go to this thing where where their possessions are. And I'm like, you're looking for suspicious shit. Like, you just dismiss this incredibly suspicious woman within the White Tower. I mean, Hogwarts. Wait. I mean, what Hog Tower? Wait, what's it called?
Plump bitch runs away. Faster than like let.
And she's not made for running, as we all know. I mean,
she dared have a size C tit. Very nice.
What are Elaine's standards, by the way? She spent her entire time in a palace. Did they have like the equivalent of the Olympic Games? And she's like, look at the tits on that one. She's not going to be able to run.
I never saw one Palace Games where big tits won a race.
I know, not one. Little titties wins the race every time.
You have to wear a sports bra. You shouldn't play sports. What the fuck?
It's not slow. It's not slow and steady. It's little titties.
Wins the race.
It's an old saying in Andor.
Yeah. That old saying.
Little titties wins the race.
So Egwene learns to tie off a weave, and then watches Elaine do it.
Yes, okay.
And then we learn
back on the actual chapter. Sorry.
It's okay.
She does. That is pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. And it's our first example of tying off a weave. And it gets weird that it shows like that Egwene knows so much more. And
they don't describe it as tying off it. They just like place it on the wall and it stays and they're like amazed, right? Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. But it's kind of fascinating that Egwene's the quickest learner, but also kind of like the most instinctual almost, at least non-healing, but also kind of like just seems like you almost wonder what would have happened if she had, died real quickly here. Like if she could have just kept learning weird shit, kind of kept doing weird shit. Because
I mean, I think she was poised to bring back like the
Age of Legends,
the female version of the Age of Legends, where it was like Ren was doing crazy, amazing things, and he made the Black Tower, and he got all this shit going.
Yeah,
I feel like Egwene was the same way in terms of like making the White Tower not a shithole. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
they've been sucking it up for a long time. I wanted to talk about this when we talked about Egwene saying, like, what's it like to be Green Aja? And I was going to be like, oh, you mean not helping the Borderlands? Oh, because that was my first thing. Anyway.
We can circle back to that because the first response was, love, man. And it's like, I don't know about that. It's like, well, actually, you have to love being with armies. Oh, okay, that makes a little more sense because it's not like we're all just like scandalous sluts, but we could be.
Well, it kind of goes back to what I've been saying before about like, why aren't there Yellow Aja hospitals? Like, why aren't they doing more for the nations? Like, why isn't there a white Aja person in every? I'm sorry, gray Aja rather in like every capital, like where they're like negotiating and. I'm like, why isn't there Green Aja like helping them out in the Borderlands? She literally says they stand ready until the Trollocs come south again. Like they're doing it now, you bitch. Like kind of thing. Like, and it was just like that kind of shit. And then I kind of think about, oh well, Ishmael fucked them all over, and I was like, is that all that is?
Maybe
because it kind of belittles the fact that they suck.
At the very least, they should have a library in every city. With Brown Aja there collecting knowledge.
Just
a hospital in every city.
Well,
it seems silly.
Honestly, I don't even know why you wouldn't have a red Aja embassy in every city, just in case a man starts channeling to break the world again. That would make a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense. And it would also be kind of like, again, if you're trying to be smart about this, which, they're not because they're women, excuse me, like you would definitely want to seen more in the public as a real fucking face and not just like a crazy order that, is quasi-mythological, but always death to men and that kind of thing. Like, what doesn't make sense now that you think about it, right, is we know that Elida had a viewing, therefore, about, the throne of Andor, and so always wanted to be close to it. But whose fucking idea was it to not send a Grey Aja to one of the places that, like, because Morghese was barely, like, she was like fourth or fifth in line to actually inherit the throne. It took for fucking ever and a great court bard, thanks Tom, to get there. Whose idea was it to send a red Aja, not a Grey Aja, right? Like why would there not a very good negotiator? Now maybe Elida is, but it's certainly
she's obviously not.
Yeah, she's a huge bitch.
It's the worst.
Where you fuck off. Like, well, that's not a treaty at all.
Yeah, it's very
Guess what? It doesn't matter. You fucked off, and I've won. So I'll see you later. I mean, actually, maybe she's a really good negotiator.
It makes me want to say, like, I think it might just be all like Ishmael fucking with the tower over the year.
Yeah,
thousands of years. It's got to be like, because nothing else makes sense. Like,
it's the throwaway excuse that everyone distrusts Aes Sedai. Like, otherwise,
yeah. And you want the world to be like this, like as a writer. So I get that part, but it's like after several thousand years after the breaking, and you've like. Civilization has recovered. I mean, there are nations like, so on and so on. It's like,
I mean, if you need a PR campaign to make people trust the Aes Sedai again, like start opening some Yalwaja hospitals, like you're going to be in good shape.
No brainer. And I mean, like, and then granted, the borderlands seem very isolated in comparison to the rest of the world for some reason. Because like the rest of the world doesn't even believe that they're fighting.
There's not a single nation,
which is insane to me. Yeah. However, like if the borderlands as a whole were like, oh no, the Aes Sedai are awesome, which they sort of are. Yeah. But not on that level that I'm talking about. Like, why aren't there Green Aja helping them push? If Tarwin's Gap is an annual event, why isn't there a Green Aja there?
There should be a green and a yellow assigned to every battalion in the Borderlands.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, I think part of it, like, you briefly mentioned it, but now that like I'm looking at a map literally behind me, there is no nation that actually touches a borderland. The borderlands, and that may be part of it. Yeah. Like, take a look at
because they hold it back so to that point where like the nations don't really creep up to that level of north.
Also, now looking at Eridomin is the dumbest place in the world to be. Nothing touches it on any angle. Fuck that. But anyway,
that do be the dumbest place.
Anyway, so back to the chat. We're going to wrap this up real quick.
What?
We're way over time.
After the crowbar,
we went nuts.
Yeah. After the crowbar, they go in and they rifle through all the possessions. They find several obviously placed clues by Lanfear that everything's pointing to Tyr, and they're like, well, it's either a trap or a diversion or whatever, but let's spring the trap.
Yeah, they're seriously like, oh, here's a bag of clothes that this Aes Sedai would never wear.
Yeah.
They're basically rotting rags. I want a clue. That's fantastic.
They find out later that they're not even like all their clothes were burned, dude. No one would want that shit from a fucking, Black Aja. And they're also,
side note, they're looking for Black Aja, right? But like at the same time, Else Grinwell, they're like, why the fuck would the Mirland Sea trust Else with this information to deliver this message to us? They're immediately like, well, clearly the Mirland Seat's an idiot. They don't like for 1 second go like, maybe Else is a black or dark friend. She might not be Black Aja yet because she's not an Aes Sedai, but maybe she's a dark friend. Hello. Yeah, they just immediately go like, well, clearly Swan Sunshine is a
Meanwhile,
Green
is looking.
She talks about fish guts and boats nonstop. She can't be very intelligent.
Honestly, if you send lazy big tits to me with clues and they're this obvious, I'd be like, I think the Maryland's a Black Aja.
And she thinks we're lesbians.
So that's tWoTcast for this week. If you have any comments or questions, the best way to find us is on Twitter at tWoTcast.
Listen wherever you get your podcast. Every episode of the show is available on tWoTcast.com. You can find us on Facebook, ? Or email us.
What?
tWoTcast@gmail.com. I don't know. You send it to me.
No,
you're going off the Patreon thing.
Oh, that's hasn't been updated. I was amazed you got there first, though.
It was a race.
tWoTcast theme is brought to you by Taffy Bennington at Sing with Taffy on Twitter and Anarchy101 on YouTube. And also everyone's favorite munition. So feel free to shoot away. Everyone's favorite musician on Twitter of time, Androl at Androl Ginhald on Twitter and Androl Bard of time on YouTube.
I feel like if you put Androl on a gun and shot him at somebody, that would hurt. We're on Patreon at patreon.com/tWoTcast. If you enjoy the show, help us out and give us some of your money and enjoy exclusive content only on Patreon. This is the first time I'm ever going to say, like, anything.
Yeah, that was weirdly on script for you for that moment. Let me do it Jono style. Thank you to our guests, if we had one. And what are their plugs? Join us next week for the Wheel of Time, Book 3, The Dragon Reborn. Part Suban, covering chapters 22 through 30. Uno?
I really was super.
I do like the Suban.
Twin Peaks midget. It's part 7.
I'm Joe. Say goodnight, Jono.
Good night, Jono.
And Tom.
Spit your mouth.
Keep the change, you filthy animals.
Among the first to start, the tWoTcast was so smart to lovingly bash our favorite books. But that was long ago, and now they've grown the show, and now they got us in their hooks. Don't throw coins to these bastards, they need bars of gold at least. Someone please keep them afloat. Now let's listen as they once again ramble through a book. Let's get the fucking quote. One of them is Tom, but he is barely on. Sometimes he calls into the show. Another one is Jono. Is he their joker? Oh no. And Joe, is he the stupid one? Welcome to the tWoTcast. We will share our love for books and all our hate in every episode. We'll entertain you, make you laugh so hard you barely can stand up. That is the tWoTcast.